Well, I understand you are the judicial assistant to the defense, but why this sudden ingress into my courtroom?
Huh, a judicial assistant and a woman, no less.
You fucking bitch, Ochi.
The rules state that females are not permitted into this local court of law other than to test it.
Yo. Yo. So female rights wasn't a thing yet, okay? Yes, I am fully aware. I ask only for 5 minutes of time. I have some vital evidence that I must hand over to the defense.
Huh. You're too late, little girl. This trial has already been concluded.
5 minutes, I will not allow a moment more.
But, Your Excellency...
I am most grateful. I don't know, she just fits the bill of a robot voice. 3 people on the bench? No, this is the first time. Who exactly are you? I'm sorry, there's no time. Please simply accept this for now. What is it? A report about something, written in English. You know my book can't read English, right? It's Giselle Brett's research. The English woman? After the trial resumed early, I hurried back to the university. I went to Dr. Wilson's laboratory in the medical facility and borrowed this paper. Faculty. Again. Yes, that's right. Miss Brett was studying under the professor, wasn't she? So, this research, what is it? Have something to do with the case? I'm afraid I don't know. I haven't been able to listen to the proceedings of the trial myself. Oh no, of course not. Special characteristics of curature and its effects on human subjects. Interesting. Curer? What's that? I've never heard of that word before.
Time's up! The prosecution demands the immediate removal of this female trespasser from the courtroom.
There was too little time for me to read it in detail, but I've summarized what I could on a note just inside the cover. If you think it could be valuable, please cast your eye over it. This is wonderful. Thank you. This is our report. Okay. Okay. Goodbye then, and good luck. God, these new fucking 3D animations are so good. You have had long enough, counsel. We cannot detain your English guests any longer. Are you our English guests? I ask the prosecution and the defense now, one last time. Does either side have any further evidence to present to the court? I presume not, but...
The prosecution has made it inconceivably enough already. Nothing more to add, Your Excellency.
You know, Skip, we're out of options here. This really is our very last chance. Yes, I know. Your Excellency, the defense does have new evidence. That look, the unyielding stare of a true Japanese warrior. Well, Miss Brett? Yes, Your Excellency. If you wouldn't mind, perhaps you could grace us with your presence a little longer. It's a delightful invitation, but I'm afraid it's not so very long until tea time. To politely decline. Forgive me, Miss Brett. It seems I wasn't clear. I realize it was phrased as a question. However, I must ask you to treat that as an order. Oh shit. Yo, Judge is no simp, bro. Judge. Yo, this is the Judge we needed in the trilogy, bro. I've said it many times before, but the Japanese language makes no sense. My apologies, dear lady. So, counsel, what is this new evidence that demands the court's attention? I want to take a look at it myself first. A poison made of bark of certain make from the bark of certain trees in the jungles of South America. Hunters in the region can use incapacitated. So he wasn't dead. He was incapacitated. Then, Yeah, he was still covered with bullets. Effects: instant paralysis. Subsequent death, even in minute doses. A wound. Yeah. This is it.
Yes!
Miss Giselle Brett, we understand you were studying under Dr. Wilson at UMay University, doing research. Research, by sheer coincidence perhaps, into a deadly poison.
What?
Poison. Where are you going with this, Counsel? A toxin known as Curer, Your Excellency. Even the slightest amount of its deadly poison entering the body leads to instant death.
What? What in utter nonsense? Career, you say? I've never heard of it.
You wouldn't have done.
What do you mean?
I mean, that you wouldn't have heard of Curer before, for one very simple reason. It doesn't exist in our country. It doesn't exist? Correct, which means no matter the test the police can do for toxins, they never identify Curer. Why? Because there is no test available here that can identify the presence of this highly deadly poison.
What?
Oh shit. Order, order, order. Counsel, does this deadly poison truly exist? According to this report offered by the visiting research student from England, Curer has long been used by the tribespeople of South America as a poison to lace their arrows. It seems that it's reasonably well known among European doctors and scientists.
To lace their arrows?
The report states that it is produced from the extract of a tree that grows deep in the Amazonian jungle, and it was first brought back to Europe at the turn of the century by explorers. It claims that animals shot by arrows laced with Curer suffer instant death. Doesn't that about sum it up, Miss Brett?
Objection! Trumpery! These aspersions are utter trumpery! To start with, if the victim had been administered some of the so-called deadly poison, he would have been screamed and writhing in pain, and other talents would have surely noticed.
That's true. What do you say to that, Inspector? Obviously, I would have noticed a disturbance like that. I don't remember anything like that either. I don't notice the professor being in any kind of pain. According to this, however, it's the other way around.
What do you mean the other way around?
It can be used as anesthetic, right? The very fact that the victim didn't show any visible signs of distress is evidence that Curer was used. Explain yourself, Counsel. The moment this toxin enters a person's system, it causes instant paralysis. In other words, afflicted victims lose all strength and are completely unable to move. Even if they were in total agony, there would be no visible signs of pain at all. How terrible! Obviously, if a man lost all strength in his muscles, he'd collapse on the floor, but with a chair under him for support. As Dr. Wilson did, the effects could go largely unnoticed. But I don't follow, Kazuma. That's just paralysis. I thought the poison caused instant death. The full explanation is extremely unpleasant. Poison causes immediate paralysis, as I said, leaving the victim unable to move. But after a short time, the paralysis is so severe it causes the muscles that control respiration respiration to fail. Respiration? In other words, the actual cause of death is suffocation. And all the while, the victim is conscious and aware, just unable to move.
That's hideous!
To the observer, it would look almost like the victim was slipping peacefully into an endless sleep. For the victim himself, his final moments would be a living hell. That is the true nature of this deadly career, poison. So you're suggesting that this bottle, Council, actually contains this terrifying poison?
This is all very convenient, isn't it? A hitherto unknown poison for this. There is no means of testing. What a happy tale for the defense.
If I may.
All these facts you think you're so clever, but it...
Holy shit. It is you who must be taught.
Of course. Dear lady.
So, this is how you Japanese behave, is it? What? You steal another honest hard work and then announce the results as if you discovered them. I'm appalled. What a loathsome act. Well, Miss Brett, the feeling is mutual. Whatever do you mean? Capitalizing on the unfortunate circumstances of an innocent man to frame him of a heinous crime. That really is a loathsome act. Wouldn't you agree?
Enough of this. I, for one, refuse to accept it. The idea of some poison that doesn't exist in the great Emperor of Japan is breaking the rules.
What's so funny? Oh. Excuse me, Your Excellency. Yes, Miss Brett. May I borrow that bottle for a moment, please? Well, yes, I don't see, why not? She's gonna drink it. Don't get too big for your boots, you insignificant little island boys. Okay. There's gotta be something written here somewhere. To a wound. Yeah, probably entered through the guy's dental shit. She doesn't have a wound, so that's probably not gonna work on her. We already know the answer to that. Sorry. To an English woman such as myself, this whole affair is a factical comedy. There are no police games in these foolish courtroom antics. It's laughable, really. Oh, this music doesn't fit what's happening right now. But I'm getting bored of it all now. It's time for the games to end. Cheers. Wait, what are you doing? No sparkle left at all. How appropriate for this shabby affair. Yeah, I already have the proof why that didn't happen, so. For our first case, this is pretty fucking good, you know. Usually the first case would be like an hour long. This one's pretty fucking long. Goodness. Whatever's the matter? You all look quite stunned. So, no career. The bottle's clean. Is that what you're saying? Look quite incredulous, little boy. But of course, That's the simple truth. Thank you for presenting the findings of my research so concisely. Here's this grand venue most kind. Or maybe it's on the steak, because we know the guy ate the steak because he had the prince. Probably. Thank you, waiter. Now then, Your Excellency. Yes, Miss Brett. I should like to be excused now, please. I think I've given more than enough of my time for the furtherance of friendship between our countries. Yes, dear lady. We are most gratified with all the assistance you have given. And again, we are fucked. This doesn't make sense. There had to have been poison in that bottle. But how? How did she shawl away whole glass and live to tell the tale? I don't understand it. Well, I suppose if nothing else, this little Far Eastern charade will make for an interesting conversation at the next party I attend in London. There has to be been poison in that bottle, doesn't there? But there can't have been, because otherwise she would have keeled over dead. Come on, Ryosuke. We have all the clues now. That bottle of water. Copper did not put career poison into Dr. Wilson's carbonated water. The defense refuses to change its position. You're serious? Fool, are you blind?
Fool, are you blind? There are no possible way that bottle could contain poison. We just saw.
Miss Brett drinking the water from it. That's right, which rather complicates your argument, I think. And I believe that complication can be explained.
How exactly?
I need to think through all the things that I don't quite add up here, one by one. I'm sure the answer is in the evidence. We have to find it in the court record somewhere. It has to be. Very well. If the defense truly intends to assert this claim, then I must ask you to support the assertion with evidence. What explains how the witness was able to consume the supposedly poisoned water unscathed? Which page is it? Yeah. Page 2, right of entry. Oh shit, wrong. This is it, boys. Yes!
Yes!
The answer is this riddle. It's right here in Miss Brett's own research report.
That's not a valid explanation.
No?
After all, we don't speak English. The report is utter gibberish. This independent young scoundrel is trying to ridicule the court, Your Excellency.
I'm not trying to ridicule anyone. Honest, I'm just reading Sasado-san's notes. I concur. This report is too extensive to be considered in its entirety by the court. You will direct us to the Permanent Section Council. Which section of the report reveals the alleged answer to the riddle? Special characteristics. Alright. We've been hearing a lot about this career poison. And it's left me curious about something. Oh, Council. Well, it sounds as though indigenous hunters have been using this poison for years and years to lace the heads of the arrows that they shoot at whatever prey they're hunting. So we've been led to believe, yes. And the point of hunting is to catch prey to eat.
Get to the point, please.
But if they were to use these laced arrows, doesn't that mean that there would be traces of poison left in the prey the hunters were using to eat? Yes, good point. So surely the hunters wouldn't want to eat their prey, wouldn't they? Because then they'd be eating poison. Good gracious, Council. No. That would be madness. but I actually found the answer to that conundrum in this research paper here. Under special characteristics, it says this. The poison starts to work after entering the body through a wound. Through a wound, you say? I see, that makes sense. Yes, the mention of that particular detail seems a little strange to me, though. But it all makes sense when you interpret what's written like this. When Curer enters the body through an open wound, it has terrifying poisonous effects. However, when it enters the body via the mouth, it has no poisonous effects whatsoever.
What?
Miss Brett, you offered this research. You knew Curer's special characteristics, and you knew that you could make a spectacle of drinking that water without any danger to yourself. You meddling little rapscallion. Well, Rinasuke, it turns out you're an even better lawyer than I thought you'd be. Really? Me? A lawyer?
Oh, all this poison talk is fascinating, I'm sure, but I fail to see how it possibly...
So, the ill-bred little puppy has a new toy to play with. Some facts he reads in a book. But I'm afraid knowledge doesn't suit you, little boy. It only makes you look silly. What are you trying to say? Your schoolboyish logic has a fatal flaw. Schoolboyish? Flaw? As even your brain has managed to deduce, the cure is safe to ingest. It seems likely that its effects are neutralized by the acidic nature of the gastric succus. Oh, yeah, well, of course. Gastric suckers? What are they? So, if this little poison is completely harmless then drunk, the professor wouldn't have died when he swallowed it, would he? Actually, no, because he had a dental shit, so that would mean he would have a wound. Bitch.
That's right!
Good gracious.
That's basic science. Science that even a schoolboy should be able to understand, no?
Order. Order in court. The logic holds. If the lady and the professor drank the same poison, they would be affected in the same way. Are you trying to suggest?
Yes, this cure poison is completely irrelevant to the case on trial.
That's right. Surely even a little cockroach like you could understand something as simple as that. Actually, not really. What is this? Swelling up inside me. I've never felt like this before. It's a sort of conviction to break down all the discrepancies. It's so intense, almost rage-like. Are we gonna do our first point? Oh, come on, let's do this. And more than anything else, it's an animalistic desire to take down my prey. Yeah! Yeah! Objection! I don't think so, Miss Giselle Brett. How dare you use that tone with me? Our first objection, his objection isn't as good as right. Like, the sound effect, I guess. Objection! Him is, yeah, it's pretty silent. That's fine though. You know very well that there is no fatal flaw here. You know exactly why, even though both of you and the victim swallowed the same poison. You are alive, but Dr. Wilson is dead. Counsel, I'm sure I don't need to remind you. You must provide compelling evidence, as we now know that this poison is completely harmless when ingested. Why would Dr. Wilson alone have been killed by the courier? Because he had a dental record. Take that! Yo, he has take that too. Yeah, take that. As Miss Brett so readily pointed out, she drank the same water as the professor. However, there was a fundamental and fatal difference between the two 2 diners. A fatal difference. The toxic effects of Curare are only felt when the poison enters the body through an open wound. So for a healthy person with no injuries, drinking it is completely harmless. But what if there was a wound inside the mouth of the person drinking the poisoned water?
Inside?
Yes, like the wound you might have if you had just been to the dentist and had a tooth extracted, for example.
Ah!
Ugh! Miss Brett, you've acknowledged many times in your testimony already that you were well aware of Dr. Wilson's dental appointment that day. So that's it. You used that knowledge to orchestrate this. Is she laughing? I don't like to repeat myself, but honestly, I can't resist. These childish courtroom games and your half-baked arguments are so puerile. What do you mean? Don't worry, little schoolboy. You'll find out soon enough. You see, when you leave vital evidence lying around, you never know what might happen to it. No. I mean, I could just slip. Oh my god. Oh dear, how careless of me. I'm afraid some crucial evidence may have been tragically destroyed. No. No! What is it? What just happened? It's the English woman. She just smashed that bottle. Into the Supreme Court, what a terrible blunder. Officer, what are you waiting for? Collect up as much of the water from the broken bottle as possible at once. You're wasting your time. This delightful carpet under my feet were a form of gift from the British Empire. I assure you, will soak up the water beautifully. You have neither the technology nor the presence of mind to recover it. My god, doesn't that just destroy her credibility? Well, I guess she does have the English, British fucking rank in it. How could you? You won't get away with this. You can thump the bench and shout as much as you'd like, little boy, but I'm afraid you'll never know. Now, will we? If there really was poison in the bottle or not. You. And let us not forget, we still have some very compelling evidence left intact. Isn't that right, counsel from the prosecution?
Of course. You're referring to this photographic print, I presume, dear lady?
That's right, and really, look at this photograph. It's in clear as day, isn't it? The poor professor was sitting on his back to me. Of course, the only person who could have shot him in the front is the little schoolboy. No, you killed the victim that day, using Curare, and then in order to frame Yunosuke from the crime. You waited until he picked up the pistol you've arranged for him to find on the floor, before he shot the professor's dead body in the chest with your own hidden gun. Then, in the confusion that followed, all you had to do was turn the dead professor and his chair around. You see, you had every opportunity to commit this crime. What a wonderful imagination you have, young man. The hidden gun, you say? I shot the professor's dead body, did I? Well, I'm terribly sorry, but you don't have a shred of evidence.
Exactly.
And as you
have nothing to support your wild claims, the prosecution's stance remains unchanged. The victim, Dr. John H. Wilson, was killed by a gunshot to the chest. Delivered in cold blood by accused Ryunosuke Naruhodo.
Ugh. This is unbelievable. How can this be happening? We had her, but now, is she really just going to get away with it? Well, the way she destroyed that evidence was obscene. Yunosuke. Yes. We've come this far, but now you're the only one who can finish it. What? What do you mean? We've lost a vital piece of evidence, it's true. So if there are any clues left for us to use now, they must be in your head. In my head? You told me before that your powers of observation were the one thing you could really depend upon. Well, yes, that's true, but I didn't manage to notice that this woman was a foreigner with a swan in her head. To think back again now, try to remember every last detail about the scene that day. Everything you saw, everything you felt, every color, every smell. What I saw, what I felt. Every color. Oh shit. Is Kazuma right? Somewhere in the vibrant memory of the scene and the crime in my head. Could there be a clue to expose the identity of Dr. Wilson's killer? There's a clue. There's blood. But where did it come from, though? Oh, the gunshot, yeah. Actually, Kazuma, I think I might have something. Picking back over what I saw, I think I might have uncovered another clue. Huh. You always have something up your sleeve, don't you, Inosuke? Come on then, let's wipe that smug smile off that Englishwoman's face with some evidence. Alright, I can't wait. It's been niggling me for a while that something feels amiss in my memories of that day. Whatever it could have been, the key to arriving to the truth about all this. It's here somewhere. The clue that shows Dr. Wilson's real killer must have been... is...
Take that!
Inspector Hosonoga, answer me this. Yes, what is it? He's still miles away. Probably thinking about that ball being smashed. As you're said a number of times now, you strive for perfection in your investigations, don't you? Absolutely. I wondered, therefore, if perhaps you took everything else from the scene of the crime. Like, for instance, the plate of steak that you took to the victim's table that day.
Wait a minute! Where are you going with it?
Where are you going with this little boy? It's just a memory that's been troubling me. What memory? I saw the scene shown in this photographic print with my own eyes that day. And I saw that on the wooden base of the plate that the steak was served on was a splatting of blood.
What?
Oh, really? And what of it? Obviously, that must have happened when you shot the professor. No, that can't be the case. The boat then passed. Take a good look at the photograph and the relative positioning of everything there. The plate of steak is almost directly behind the victim. If I'm sure that to have shot Dr. Wilson in the chest from the front, there's no way that blood from the victim could have ended up directly behind him. Yes. For blood to have made it onto that plate, it implies that the plate was between the victim and the shooter, which means the shooter must have been sitting opposite to the professor, as you were.
You saw Brett.
I beg your pardon.
Objection! This is beyond ridiculous fabricated nonsense! Is the court seriously expected to believe something the accused has apparently just remembered seeing?
This could be the moment that my entire career in the police force has been leading to. Inspector, you mean? Yes, I took the plate in the interest of preserving evidence from the scene of the crime. I took it, meat and all, I don't care if they call me a crime scene thief because of it.
You did what?
I took the steak that you have been eating, Miss Brett. I took the steak that the surgeons have been eating. I did it all in the name of justice. I love that guy.
Then we can find out for sure whoever or not there's a blood stain on Miss Brett's plate. We must examine it now.
Inspector, the court wishes to examine the plate from the victim's table immediately. Yes, sir. Sorry for the delay. It's what you ordered. The steak.
Well, what about the blood? Is there blood on it? Course there isn't.
Quickly, Inspector. The blood, man. Show the court. Of course. Examine the plate at your leisure. Oh, the blood isn't there. No. No blood. The stick really looks different in between these photos. Or am I just tripping? These are different things. No blood anywhere. But no, that's impossible! I know what I saw, I'm sure of it. It's right there on the table behind the professor. There was blood inside of the plate.
What an unbecoming expression, little boy. You see, this is why I always say that you can't trust what the Japanese tell you. I couldn't agree more. In that case, that's a disgrace to the Empire.
I believe may have finally reached a conclusion in this trial.
Let's hope so. This, let's pretend attempt at courtroom proceedings is painful to watch, but I do promise to do my best to forget all of it about when it's over.
I read that so wrong.
Ha! This sorry-looking steak reveals the facts to all too clearly. The sorry-looking accused wishes to see it again. Be my guest.
Okay, now that you gave that to me, I can examine it more. Nah, man, it's not just okay. There's something wrong with it.
Huh? What the world is this?
I think the Calmont coin, the hallmark, and the hallmark is from the Hohei hair, I believe. Oh, it's a different steak.
No, I don't mean, what is it? I mean, what's it doing here? What's it doing there?
Wait,
Did you say it was a Hokkait Kawan?
yes, and apart from the meat juices, it looks to be good condition. I imagine it's very valuable.
This isn't the first time today that there's been talk of this Hobai Koban.
Koi Koban. I've heard of pearls before swine, but I've never heard of bullion. I don't think you will ever again.
This extraordinary though. This means...
This basically means that this is the wrong plate. I certainly never expected to find a precious coin underneath this thick cut of meat. And it's from the Hoei era too. That would make it really quite valuable.
It's well marinated. It's well marinated in the juices as well. Look.
What are you thinking?
Eating it?
No, but the next time I order a steak in an expensive restaurant, one thing for sure, my heart's going to be racing if I let the meat and pure underneath is the former price. I think you might have the wrong end of the stick about this, Ryusuke. A Kaban coin underneath the steak. There's only one logical explanation. Nice. Good thing we checked that. This is it now. I've lost. Ryusuke. It's not over yet. Not until the final gal. Never stop believing in yourself. Keep looking forward, no matter what. Believe in myself. Really? Maybe I should at least examine the evidence for myself. As the evidence requested by the defense has not been shown into problematic in not any way, I presume any further examination of evidence in this trial will be unnecessary. Does the defense have any objection? That bloodstain was going to clutch the trap for me. Can this plate of steak reveal any other clues at all? Your Excellency, please wait. This plate of beef is hiding another clue. Another clue that will reveal the shocking truth.
I think that's shocking here is your unhealthy fascination with beefsteak.
Your Excellency, I think I've made myself clear, haven't I? I will not be able to turn a blind eye anymore on the necessary procrastination in this trial. I'm sorry, Miss Brett, but we must ensure a thorough examination of the evidence. I will not give a ruling until I'm completely satisfied that all reasonable doubt has been dispelled. Bro, this judge is the GOAT, bro! If it was the fucking Ace Attorney judge, like the bald guy, bro, he would have ended this years ago. Nah, Mr. Wright. Fuck that. I know you still have evidence, but I'm sure that you are guilty, so fuck you. Now, this judge is the GOAT, man. I see. As a newly affirmed ally of my country, that's still your position, is it? Thank you, Your Excellency. Counsel for the defense, you will now clearly show the court to what you are alluding. Where precisely on this plate of beef steak is this new clue can be found? We already heard this. I do love these fucking portraits. Mini portraits about their top.
Got it!
Got it! Good gracious, that's...
Come on!
What on earth? A Hoi era one at that. Miss Brett, this is the fact that the beef steak that you ordered at the restaurant the day in question, is it? Tell me, why is there an old coin seemingly hidden underneath the meat? What a ridiculous question. How should I know? I've never seen that thing before in my life. I don't know what it is, but I want no part of it.
I fail to see how this is relevant. They can't underneath the meat. How could this have been careless mistake of the chef at the moment of destruction?
Don't be absurd. We're supposed to believe that this happened by accident in the kitchen? A rare Hoi Kaban just happens to be hidden underneath a piece of steak. If this turns out to be relevant to the case, I'll rip up my ticket to the Great Britain right now. He's right. It can't be a coincidence. Your Excellency. Yes, Counsel. A rare Hoi Kaban just happened to be hidden underneath this piece of steak. If this turns out to be irrelevant to the case, I'll give up my lawyer job right now.
By all means don't let us stop you. No one invited you anyway.
Perhaps, little boy, you should realize that it is you who is irrelevant. Even though I'm the one on trial here. The point is, it's essential that we ask the owner of this coin if he can explain what is it doing underneath that stake. The owner? Yes, it's obvious. It's only one person it can belong to. Yeah, it's the guy who sells it. The owner of the coal band can be found underneath the stake. Is. Wait, she's only 16? Wait, this guy.
Take that!
Obviously, it can only be the antiques dealer and the owner of Rasute Kyoji Kate Koto-san. Curie, as in Mr. Cucumber something. Honestly, those ridiculous Japanese names are quite unfathomable. Ah, yes. The old man who testified earlier alongside the military surgeon, correct? Yes, Your Excellency. I remember him saying that he was up to something with this Koban coin when it happened. At exactly the moment the gun was fired.
The gadget is just to me not. I am far too busy on the floor.
Too busy on the floor? Sorry, but what are you doing?
Hunting for treasure. Indeed, the Hoi Era combined my priced coin.
Then this Hoi Era Koban, do you mean to tell me?
No, please. Why could Katakura-san Koban be sandwiched between the victim's beefsteak and its plate? It makes no sense.
Which is why I'm asking to bring Katakura-san back to this witness stand so we can ask him. Officer, bring both witnesses that testified earlier back here without a moment's delay. Yeah, we're gonna have 4 witnesses. I can't believe we've come back around to this pair again. But I have a hunch, a strong hunch, that if we chase down the real significance of this Koban, we'll find that it's a key element to the case. Oh shit. What's all this about? Why have I been called up again? Don't you realize that it's dinner time for the little baby idol? When my son's belly is empty, he's fresher than a pack of wolves.
Exploited by the police we are, like miserable dogs forced to bear false witnesses. I went cast witness this court for myself. I became a rude man and within thrice. A worthless withered cheek. Nothing more than I have to say. The sun I set on this wretched shop owner's existence.
Be that as it may, Katekura-san, something has come to light that requires your clarification. As far as your Rasute memory serves.
That's the one, the very one, exact one that it is.
Brother knifes on his feet.
The unpleasant smell of his tight dress with my rusty bronze measure displays that way from there.
It can't be. As I thought.
Young man, and not in this decrepit old fool, put me out of my misery. Well, what it was my treasure? Where has it been dropped?
Oh, I'm not sure if it's dropped anywhere. We found your coin sandwiched between a beefsteak and its plate, soaked with the secret's seasoned meat's juices.
Soaking? Seriously?
Clearly, it could have fallen there by accident, which means somebody must have hidden it there on purpose.
Somebody concealed my whole treasure between a slab of meat and a metal plate. Who could do such a thing, such an uncontrollable thing?
Well, it's the military guy. Excuse me, could I say something? Yes, of course. Proceed, Inspector Hosonoga. I mentioned earlier on the trial, but I was working undercover in the restaurant in order to investigate another case.
Oh yes, that's right. The secret undercover operation.
La Cara de Val is a high-class Western cuisine restaurant. It attracts wealthy diners, including many foreigners. Recently, there's been a run of similarly executed thefts targeting the restaurant's rich clientele. A number of such incidents have been reported to the police bureau. Wicked crimes indeed. We want to nip the case in the bud quickly, especially with so many foreigners being affected. That's why you were sent in undercover, is it? Yes, I too want the job of waiter at the restaurant in order to flush out the criminal. It seems likely that this Coban incident is the work of the same thief. So unbeknownst to us, there was a master thief at work in the restaurant on a regular basis. A place was already the scene of several crimes, it seems. I don't know about the master thief part, but the identity of the person who stole and hid the Katakura-san Coban is all too clear.
What? What?
I think the court would like to hear the defense's view on this matter. Tell us, who is this despicable scoundrel that stole Kotekura-san's Coban and hid it under the stake?
Take that!
Obviously, it can only be you.
Sergeant E.S.N. What? How? How dare you? You monster!
Monster?
I stole that Coban, did I? I'm the master thief of La Caravelle, am I? You're seriously accusing me of these crimes, cadet? But it wasn't me. It was Ido. Ido was the mastermind behind all this.
What the fuck? The child? Convict the child. The master thief.
You would push the blame on your crimes onto your own son, an innocent little baby? It's you who the monster, Sergeant Nosa.
Ugh. Oh my god, the baby. This is actually the baby. Nippon Imperial Army Sergeant Inicia Nosa, preparing to stand down on the Supreme Court, sir. The fuck was that? Tune in if you know. With the exorbitant low wages of Nippon Imperial Army pays, doesn't expect them to keep our country safe. I understand that the temporary increase in taxation owing to the recently ended conflicts remain in place. And I have heard it's hard for lower ranking soldiers to make a living. Yes.
All I'd want is to put a hot meal on the table for my son.
That's why you were stealing things at the restaurant.
The place is heavy with money. Every 3 days, I'd go there and do reconnaissance for a target. And I'd enjoy chomping my way for a good steak at the same time.
Sounds like it doesn't bother with a knife and fork even, which is boring and unbelievable. And your target that day was the old man and his Coban.
Yes, sir. It was an easy mark. I slipped the coin into my pocket without any trouble at all. A veritable phantom thief you are!
He's fucking giving me all this voice. I was all set to leave the stake. I was halfway through devouring when it happened. Yes, when the professor was shot. I knew that if the police conducted a search and found the coin in my pocket, I'd be finished either too. So I hid incriminating evidence as fast as I could on the double. I slipped it under the stake, hoping that I'd be able to rendezvous with it again on a later date. God, we have so many witnesses. This is the first time we had multiple witnesses in one stand. Perhaps you could carry on with this absurd prattling in your own time. Well, Miss Brett,
Of course, dear lady, of course. How rude of us. I'm quite sure there's no need to continue any longer at all. May the esteemed gentlewoman please be excused, Your Excellency.
Indeed. The thief of the Koban was clearly perpetrated by this baby-saddled surgeon. It would clearly appear to be unrelated to Dr. Wilson's murder.
Of course it is. Well, that's just a direct contradiction, isn't it? How did it arrive at the plate that my boy was eating? Probably because it wasn't the fucking plate, isn't it? Nonsense. It is.
Well,
And as for picking up your stick and biting into it without using a knife and fork, it's beyond nonsense. It's pure madness.
very well. Now that all questions concerning this witness's testimony has been answered, I see no further justification for detaining her. Miss Brett, you are free to leave.
Thank you, Your Excellency. Good luck, everyone. And good day.
Ryosuke, what's the matter with you? There's no time to be daydreaming. Oh, no, it's just... something about Miss Brett's parting words there got me thinking. I can't quite work out what exactly, but something she said jarred with me. I feel like there was a contradiction in there somewhere, something I didn't quite add up. If that's the case, don't just stand there thinking, make your own voice heard. Sorry. You can think later, but if you don't call out now, it'll be too late, the trial will be over.
Hold it!
Wait, Miss Brett.
What is it now?
I'm afraid. Just one last time. There's something I'd like to ask you. I'd like to explain the contradiction in your parting words for just a few moments ago.
What are you talking about? What contradiction? What new student nonsense is this?
Well, what parting words were you talking about, Ryosuke?
Hiding a coin under a lump of meat. The sheer nonsense of such an idea astounds me. And as for picking up your stick and biting into it without using a knife and fork, it's beyond nonsense. It's pure madness.
Yes, that's right. I'm right. What you said there exposed an undeniable contradiction. I'm going to need to see evidence, counsel. If Miss Brett's words truly are contradictory, where's the evidence to prove it?
Take that!
Steak that Miss Brett had been eating before the professor was killed. Yes, go on. More accurately, Your Excellency. The steak has been on the victim's table just before the professor was killed.
Now you're splitting hairs.
Now you're spitting hairs.
Not true. Doesn't something about the steak strike you as very unnatural?
Unnatural? What on earth do you mean?
It's extremely obvious. I'm talking about the shape of the edge, where it's been eaten. I see you've noticed it too, Miss Brett. Noticed what exactly, counsel? Just a few moments ago, Miss Brett claimed no Englishwoman could have contemplated picking up a steak and biting into it without using a knife and a fork. Put on a knife and fork. Why is this voice so deep suddenly?
Of course she did. She's a fine Englishwoman herself.
I took a good look at the steak. It's particularly the edge where it's been eaten. Yeah, it's bites in it. As you can see, there are clearly defined barbaric tooth marks there. Ah, oh.
Ah!
It looks like Miss Brett has realized something. Looks like Miss Brett has realized something. So if the witness, as she claims, wasn't compatible with eating anything without using a knife and fork, then it shouldn't be There shouldn't be teeth marks in the steak at all.
But what is your actual point? Perhaps that the death of Miss Brett was reverently hanging and could happen.
Oh,
Whatever you say, dear lady.
as I said, I really must be leaving now. A volunteer with the Minister of Justice cannot possibly wait any longer.
Of course, of course. This will be all over the blink of an eye. Rest assured I'll be able to put the vehicle in its place. It's everything to it.
I've heard enough. You irritating little spectacled samurai relic.
Of course, dear lady.
What's the matter, Miss Brett? We have ruffled your feathers? Clearly, the witness knows what this means. She will realize the catastrophic implication these tooth marks and the stakes have for her. Ryusuke, do you know where you're going with this? Yes. Now at last, it's all come together. The mysterious teeth marks in the steak that had allegedly been eaten with cutlery. The reason why the blood stain I saw somehow seemed to have disappeared. And most importantly, the evidence that proves once and for all who shot Mr. Wilson that day, Dr. Wilson. I accept these teeth marks in the steak as a little unnatural, as you put it, counsel. But what exactly are you suggesting that tells us? Everything, Your Excellency.
Everything?
Yes, I believe that these barbaric teeth marks in the steak here amount to conclusive evidence in this case. Evidence that will prove beyond any doubt that who shot Dr. Wilson. Conclusive evidence? How many times have I heard that today? You really know the meaning of that phrase, typical Japanese empty threats. How can you be so sure? Oh, it's quite simple. If you really have such conclusive evidence, you would have presented it in the court long ago. Actually, the evidence I'm talking about hasn't been brought before the court yet.
Hasn't been what?
But just because it hasn't been shown yet doesn't mean that the evidence does not exist.
This is absurd. The trial has run several hours already. And you say this evidence yet to be brought forward. That can't be. I can't believe that you have it.
I don't, but there is someone who does have it. Someone in this very courtroom. And if that person is willing to submit the piece of evidence I'm referring to, it will solve every remaining mystery about this case. Very well. I have a feeling that this will be my last request for the defense in this trial. Who possesses the conclusive evidence that will reveal the truth for this whole affair? Well, it's the guy, right? Because he has everything.
Take that!
The answer is obvious. It's Inspector Hosonaga. What? I have it? Yes. You think I'd be withholding conclusive evidence? That's ridiculous. No, that's not what I'm saying. That's... Everyone's attention has been focused on this beefsteak with the teeth marks. Yes. Now, early this afternoon, Sergeant Nosa told the court the following. I enjoy chopping my way for a good steak, as well as admitting to stealing Kagurasu-san's coins. He told us that he slipped it under the steak. You watch, cadet. I'm a superior officer. Sergeant Nosa, could you please confirm something for me? That the steak that you put the coin under, in fact, your own steak, was in fact your own steak. Tishin! Affirmative, of course. I might be a soldier in the Imperial Nippon Army, but still. I'm not brave enough to ask a foreign gentle lady that she'd mind me manhandling her meal to hide something in it. In other words, the steak that the detective admitted as evidence earlier was in fact Soldier Nosa's meal.
Objection!
But that makes no sense. Wait, give me a second. Right, this game is actually fucking long.
The plate was taken from the victim's table.
Yet the gentlewoman doesn't take bites out of her steak. Nor did she have any opportunity to steal the coin.
Of course I didn't steal it. To even suggest that she'd think would be an affront to the entire British Empire.
Alright, we're back. Well then, how do you explain this paradox?
Exactly. Surely you're not going to suggest that the Senate switch the two stakes over.
That was exactly what I was suggesting to suggest. Except the sergeant wasn't the one to switch it in it.
You did switch the plates.
Oh my, he actually did? Well, after it happened, when I saw the civilian has been murdered right in front of my eyes like that, I panicked. I guess I said I immediately lifted my stick and hit the coin underneath it. But then when the waiter announced that he was an undercover policeman, I thought I had it. If he decided to investigate my style of meat, that I'd be getting my marching orders. So, when the cadet here was arrested and taken out to the kitchen, I seized my chance. With all their precision and timing, I chose my stakes with the one with the foreign lady too.
What? You can't have. I saw you do no such thing.
It was called Operation Lightning Bolt. There was no time for strategic panic. It was do or die, I tell you. So yes, I did. I did what had to be done.
Unbelievable!
However, fear not, Prosecutor Son.
What now?
What now?
I showed you the brass buttons in my uniform, said all I did, sir.
Oh, you did?
That's bad. All you did, that's petty. Sergeant!
Yes!
So, if Sergeant knows to switch the plates over, it means he took Miss Brett's steak and the plate it was on back to his own table. Yes, that follows. Inspector Osanaga. Yes. Earlier in this trial, he told the court this. He said they had only taken Miss Brett's steak after the incident. You had not only taken the steak, but also the surgeon's. But to preserve evidence, you had taken both. Ugh. That's correct. Then please present it to the court of now. The plate that was actually in the victim's table at the precise moment he was shot.
How can I possibly tell us now? I mean, a cold slab of tough meat. I can't even start crying on the case.
No, you're not riling your way out of this time, lady.
I beg your pardon.
Surely you're not that forgetful. Surely you remember the reason why the steak pan promises to prove such a problem for you, no?
We're the ones who decided it was a problem, not me.
The reason the defense asked to see that plate was to confirm something the defendant remembers seeing.
To think he remembers.
I'm quite sure of what I saw, Miss Brett. On the side of the plate that was on the table directly behind Dr. Wilson, there was a clear splattering of blood from the gunshot wound to the victim's chest. I believe the defense memory serves him well. Give me a second. Right. And now that we have the evidence to prove it, the plate you were eating from, Miss Brett. Let us not prolong any further. Inspector, you will show us the evidence to the court. Present the beef steak and plate that were originally on the victim's table at the time of the incident. Yes, sir! He's so passionate about his job, I love him. Sorry for keeping you. Here's the other steak in its plate. Please feel free to examine it. Yup, there it is. The blood stain. It's clearly visible. Look!
Yes!
Now this makes everything clear. The blood that you can see on the side of the plate shows that the exact moment the victim was shot. He was facing the table from his back to me. In other words, impossible for Naruhodo-san to have shot the victim.
It can't be.
In fact, there's only one person who could possibly have been shot, Dr. Wilson, from the front. I'm sure everyone knows by now who that person is. That's right. Miss Giselle Brett. It's you! Fucking hell. Outdone by a Japanese. Me by a Japanese schoolboy. No, no, no! Wait, that thing's actually alive? Oh, shit. What the fuck? What the fuck is this game? What the fuck? Yo, the first trilogy was so good. But having 3D shit makes the game so much better. All the ridiculous shit they can do. Oh my god, the trilogy works with the sprites well. It's cool. Bro, but this 3D shit is so cool because they can just do the most fucking fucked up shit. They can show more emotion with these than rather the sprites. God, imagine if the first trilogy had this crap. Oh my god. What the fuck was that shit? Please excuse my little outburst. I briefly lost my composure. Most unbecoming behavior of an English gentlewoman. Forgive me. Well, Miss Brett, I think it's time for you to tell the court of law what actually happened that day. The truth this time. Gladly, Your Excellency. It was I who took the professor's life using Cuirae. As I surmised, I chose that particular day for one very important reason. The professor had a dental appointment for the extraction for one of his teeth in the morning. So you planned to kill the professor, knowing that no trace of poison would be found in his water, because Cuirae is unheard of here in Japan. Yes, of course I never intended to remain at the restaurant as long as I did. I only needed to see the professor take one tiny sip of his water, and it would be all over. I would place the steak I had ordered in front of him to make it appear as though he was been dining alone, and leave immediately. However, before any of that happened, there was an unexpected visitor at the professor's table. That would be me, I suppose. Yes, you. Who else? Such a trifling matter, but the fact that you decided to come over and greet the professor meant that I had lost my chance to slip away unnoticed. In due course, the professor took a sip of his water and was paralyzed. In due course, the professor took a sip of his water and was paralyzed. I made sure he was sitting in a chair such as he wouldn't fall. There's no going back at that point, so I concocted a plan in the spur of the moment. I planned to pin Dr. Wilson's murder to this innocent man. I happen to know what the professor always carried a gun. I decided to use that fact to my advantage. I had the bottle of Cuvier in my handbag, and my own pistol concealed under my skirt.
Under your skirt.
So I was right. There were 2 guns. Yes. And when I finished my coffee, I got up to leave. That's when I noticed the professor's gun, which you had presumably placed on the floor. Placed where you were sure that I would notice it. Everything went according to plan. You noticed the gun, and I decided intended. And then, just as you bent down to pick it up, that's when you shot the professor with your own gun, even though at that point he was already dead. Naturally, the gunshot caused a commotion, at which point the waiter appeared. Obviously, I assumed Naruhodo-san was the culprit and apprehended him. I took him to the pantry using joints of the victim and locked him inside. Someone took the opportunity to turn the professor in his chair around. Because of course, you needed to make it look like the defendant had shot Dr. Wilson where he'd picked up the gun. So there you have it. That's the entirety of my misdemeanor. Your Excellency. I wonder. I speak with you in private later. I shall call on you. Thank you. Good day then, everyone. I hope you can forgive me, Naruhodo-san. It would seem this trial has finally run its course. I presume the prosecution is in agreement.
This can't be. Takekatsushi Achi does not lose.
No, you always lose. You're always the fucking guy in the first case.
Not to the likes of this rookie student.
You'd better start getting used to a tough opposition.
Inosuke Naruhodo.
Oh, yes?
This insulted Achi family name shall never be forgotten.
You've become conceited ages ago with the Age Council, but the one have to stand aside to make way for the new. It's the way of the world. May you never forget that. What the fuck? Whoa! Yo. It founds an inalienable past, and still, the Achi clan will never measure up to the Naruhodo clan. This trial in the Supreme Court of Japan will, I believe, go down in history as the start of a new chapter in our country's judicial system. God, I can't read. Despite being summoned as the accused, you, Ryunosuke Naruhodo, presented an excellent case. Thank you, Your Excellency. The use of evidence and deduction to unravel the truth is a modern methodology. After all, it was only been a few short decades since our country opened its doors to the wider world, but the Western ideas of science are rapidly gaining acceptance. I feel sure that science will soon bring new methods of investigation and new uses for justice. A new future of law awaits, but what it would look like, I cannot begin to imagine. What is for the young to pursue? That is for the young to pursue. Kazuma Soki. Yes? After this trial, you are set to embark on a journey of discovery to the illustrious British Empire. Learn all you can, absorb everything of the wider world that you are able to. And do not forget, to fulfill the mission imposed upon you. I understand, Your Excellency. What's that about? Why do you look so grave all of a sudden? Never mind. As for you, Ryunosuke Naruhodo. No, yes? In you I sense, how can I put it, unusual potential. I very much look forward to seeing how you carry that onwards. Thank you, Your Excellency. Yo, I can see why people love this game. This is only the first case, and it's fucking pretty good. I hereby deliver my verdict. I hereby find the defendant, Ryunosuke Naruhodo, not guilty. Confetti? Yeah! Hell yeah! This court is now adjourned. That's a lot of fucking words. Can't believe it. Can't believe that's what's happened. I made it. I defended myself and made it through that horrendous trial. Ryunosuke, you finally pulled it off. Congratulations. Well, I couldn't have done it without you. Thank you, Kazuma. No, it was a pleasure to watch you at work. So, you owe me a large extra sukiyaki from the place on Yume University Street. Don't forget. Good afternoon. All your hard work has certainly paid off.
Oh no, good afternoon. All your hard work has certainly paid off. Congratulations to both of you for proving Naruhodo-san's innocence.
Ah, my trusty judicial assistant. You worked hardest for that result too, you know.
Oh no, I didn't do anything. Thank you so much.
If we hadn't had that research report from Miss Brett, I don't know how things would have turned out.
Your kind words should really be for my father. I was simply doing as he asked. It was his idea for me to go to the university and investigate.
Your father? Ah, yes, of course.
Forgive me for intruding in court proceedings, Your Excellency. Susaso Mikatoba, judicial assistant to the defense.
Speaking of Mikatoba, there you are. Ah, there you are. Congratulations. I believe are in order. I believe congratulations are in order. Naruhodo, you did an excellent job. Thank you, Professor. Oh no, it is us who should be thanking you after all. Your effort exposed the true criminal that took the life of my good friend. Good friend? Oh yes, you mentioned that before. It was you who actually invited Dr. Wilson to Yume University, wasn't it? Yes, that's right. Professor Mikatobi studied overseas himself. He went to study forensics medicine in the Great Britain. Presumably, that's when you met Dr. Wilson. Exactly. In those days, we worked together in the same hospital. Oh, you worked together? I've never heard of you mention that before. Well, it was a long time ago now. Besides, it's your turn, Osogi. Now we're back. Great Britain is a magnificent country. It leads the world in science, medicine, engineering, culture, and of course, in law. Watch and learn, my boy. See what's happening in the world's largest melting pot. I will. I'll learn all that I can. I swear on it. I swear on this, the spirit of the Asogi clan. You're not taking that sword to Great Britain, are you? Fuck yeah, I will. Of course I am. The Japanese man's katana is his soul. This blade shows me where I need to go. It cuts down anything that's in my way. Yes, I've definitely seen how sharp it is already with my own eyes. By the way, just fucking cut it us like, oh jeez, fucking hair. That reminds me, what's happened to the woman? To Giselle Brett, I mean. After all, she's guilty of murder. Ah yes, her. It's not easy to tell you this, but... What do you mean? Surely she's going to face trial herself now. She's the true culprit after all. She will be leaving Japan in the very near future. For Shanghai. What? Shanghai? Giselle Brett will not appear in court again in this country. I'm certain of that. What? But why not? Oh my god. It's a matter of consular jurisdiction. Oh, nice. I gave him the perfect voice. Inspector Sonoga. It was a hard-fought battle in the courtroom today. Very impressive to watch. I must congratulate Lady. But, what's with this consular jurisdiction? We cannot try this particular foreigner for her crimes here in Japan. What? We can't try her? But then, who's going to bring her to justice? A British consular court will hear her case somewhere far away, where our voices can't be heard. Why a consular court? Professor, I simply don't understand. I thought consular courts were a thing in the past. Now, we've signed a friendship treaty. Yes, in normal circumstances, you're right. Then, so long as this is not a serious incident of a highly protectional nature in our respective governments, they can't invoke a consular court just like that. Oh, can't they? Oh, can't they? Yes, she's a student, but it doesn't justify a government making secret agreements about her fate, does it? Something strange is going on. Something in the woodworks. So Miss Brett can't be held accountable for her actions here in Japan? I'm afraid that for the young student, today's trial was nothing more than a game all along. There was never any danger to accompany for her. I don't believe it. The British government's Foreign Affairs Ministry has demanded that we hand over custody to Miss Brett. They've obviously taken this case of a foreign student committing murder very seriously. But it's all going to change from now on. We can make a change. This is a time of great turmoil. This new era well heralded by the start of a new 20th century. One day, I have no doubt, that woman will receive the judgment she deserves. Yes, nothing is coming. Yes, change is coming. Yes, change is coming, and we're the ones driving it. Well, I think that's enough seriousness for now. This evening calls for a celebratory drink. But Professor, you're right. There's no fun for gloomy faces. We shall be celebrating Yunosuke's not guilty verdict. Let's start some fun. Let's start having some fun. In that case, might I suggest La Carnival? As the head waiter, I should be glad to provide you with ample food and drink. You're a detective, Hosonoga-san, aren't you? Let's not worry about details for now. To La Carnival, will you accompany us, Professor? Of course, La Carnival's food is second to none.
I shall go and attend to the paperwork for Naruhodo-san's release.
Oh yes, thank you. So Giselle Brett won't be tried here. I suppose that means I'll never know. I'll never find out why she killed Dr. Wilson. Kazuma. Yes, Rinosuke? I just wanted to say thanks again, that's all. You really saved my skin today. I didn't do a thing. You were the lawyer in there, weren't you? That defense was all your own work. Your skills made the difference, though. One day I bet you'll be the best lawyer in the world. I'm not so sure about that. To be honest, something kept occurring to me over and over again during that trial. Someone's calling me. Can't help think that maybe you're the one destined to become a great lawyer, not me. Well, come on, be serious. If I helped you today, it was only right at the very start of the trial. But you have a natural talent for it. For being a defense lawyer, I mean. Oh no, not me. All that tense verbal combat, I never want to go through that ever again. I did what you told me to do. That's all, because I knew I would trust you. That's the point. Sorry, what do you mean? What's the point? Listen, Ryunosuke. Do you know what the most crucial weapons in any other lawyer needs in order to win? Knowledge of the law? No. The ability to believe. To believe? To believe what? The defense lawyer has to fight for his clients. He has to believe at them at all times. Like you believed in me when I said I didn't do it. I'm human, just like you. I don't have superhuman abilities to know the truth. But you have to make a choice about what to believe in and stick to it when you're defending someone. Sometimes in the courtroom, you can really be backed into a corner. But being able to remain faithful to what you chose to believe in, even then, well, it's not something that anyone can do. It takes a special kind of person. Believing in your client. Just look at today's trial. I'm a student lawyer with precious little real experience, but you never stopped believing in me. Well, you faced seemingly hopeless situations time and time again. But you never stopped looking for the truth. And in the end, you found it. For your own efforts and because you never stopped believing in me. Thanks, Kazuma. Believing in you. What's what he said? I don't know, I forgot. Gotta carry for shit. There's something I want to ask you, actually. Ryunosuke. Well, it's a favor, really. Something very important to me. It's not serious. What is... Ugh. You're still here. Are you? Oh, Inspector Osanoga. I've arranged some rickshaws for us. Let's go. Thank you. We'll be right there. Let's pick up this conversation again later. We should be celebrating right now. Your first court victory. Your study tour to the Great Britain. Don't forget. Ah, yes. That too. Yo, I can see why people love this game. So my very first trial came to an end. I can see why people love the Great Ace Attorney. This first case is pretty good, and as you can see, there's kind of a deeper shit. Like a deeper, something's happening behind the scenes here. Again, it's the same thing as, because the first trilogy, the original trilogy, kind of did it differently. It was kind of the cases weren't really connected to each other, but I have a feeling this is going to be like investigations where it's all somehow connected in a circle again. Yeah, this fuck the 3D fucking characters. I'm not used to it yet, but it's so good. Jesus Christ. Yeah, so I'm recording this. Yeah, so I'll probably play Yakuza 4 after this first case, so I won't be uploading the next episodes of this game anytime soon. So, yeah. But, yeah, I need to take a break. I need to take a serious break from the Ace Attorney games. I've been playing these games endlessly. So I need to try a new game. So, maybe after Yakuza 4 and 5, I'll go back and finish this duology game, and then play another game, then we'll be back to into investigations and go to Apollo Justice. Who knows? But yeah, for now, we'll just do this. Kazuma, Professor Mikatoba, Sasuto-san, who acted as my assistant, the ace detective, Inspector Osanaga, who didn't really play as much as a part, but still. Actually, he did play as much as a part. It was because of the help and support of these people that I managed to get through that trial. But more importantly, Kazuma hasn't yet managed to ask his favor of me. Little did I realize just how much it would change my life. The plot thickens. Well, see you guys next time. Peace out.